Yesterday, I found out that deer were munching away on my beets and my peppers. So what we did here is we covered them. And right now, I'm just walking out to see if there's any damage done to my covers. Because, maybe they might walk on them if they don't notice, but it looks pretty noticeable, so So this is what they did. So this is what they did yesterday. And this is what it's supposed to look like. They ate all the tops and pulled up some of the bottoms. It's good that they still have some leaves, so they can still grow. Carrots were untouched. The beets over here were also devoured, and they're supposed to look like that. Kohlrabi was untouched. Still have all those beets over there. They're just smaller and they were sown later. So now I'm gonna go check over here because I didn't cover these peppers. They're a bit more spaced out because there's 4 here and 6 over there. So I didn't really take the time to cover them. And they look like they're fine. The deer have not found them yet. So then my other peppers in this little tent. These are my big Aloha peppers. And a lot of them got decapitated, which I hope that there's still enough time in this season for them to grow fruit. I'm sure there is, but I'm inexperienced, so I don't know how long these things take. My corn's getting really nice and big. I have a couple more pepper tents. These are all my hot peppers, and a lot of the ones on the edge got decapitated. The ones in the middle are just fine. They still have flowers and are producing fruit, but it's unfortunate that we lost all the fruit on these guys. I'm sure that there's enough time in the season to still get something from them, as they do seem to grow quick. And then the last tent we have are our peach peppers. So they're kind of like jalapeno level spicy, except they're orange. And I don't think they taste like peaches. They just have a peachy color. I love how rounded the leaves are of these ones. These ones didn't take too much damage. The only one that did was that one, and I really don't want anything else happening to these, so we made sure to get them covered. I'm sure once my tomatoes start fruiting, probably should cover them. We're gonna lose all the tomatoes to the squirrels. Maybe the deer. All my potatoes are flowering. All my lentils are getting slightly shaded, which I didn't really think about when I planted my potatoes. evidence. Stepping in all my nice little baby beets. I'm going to be planting brassicas in here because this is a little bit more of a shady spot later in the day. These are chickpeas, and they have flowered. In this bed, I really love the combination that I did. It's chickpeas, cauliflower, kale, and dill. It seems to be a combination that works really nicely. I'll definitely be using that combination in future years. Those are all of our cherry tomatoes. All these trellises have beans of some type. We have like black beans up there. We have skunk pole beans here. And I'm pretty sure these are kidney beans. Over here is our wine cap mushroom bed. So we inoculated mushrooms in these wood chips. So the first layer was actually straw. Something's been digging. And the top layer we did is wood chip mulch. That way the layer of straw will allow us to get mushrooms faster than just having wood chips. So you can see already the mycelium is growing, and I can't think of the word for it right now. And we've got other fungus. So I really hope that the wine caps will take over. This is one of our plum trees. The only one that we have caged and protected because we haven't gotten around to the others. That is an elderberry that we planted. This is a raspberry here. We have yet to establish a pathway through this area. It's not really defined yet. And up there is another elderberry as well that we planted this year. It is flowering or producing berries. Back over here to the peppers. Beside it we have another plum tree. I'm glad the deer haven't been munching on that yet. I'm sure eventually they'll find it, and we probably should protect that tree. At least get one of those white spiral things to protect the bottoms. This is another mushroom bed, and this is also another mushroom bed for wine caps. This is an apple tree. I'm really glad to see some growth coming back because the gypsy moths really got to this apple tree and most of our apple trees. They seem to really love apple trees. And pear trees they mostly leave alone. Sorry, little guy, I gotta take you off. In this little bed, I put more beets, and we have Welsh onions here. We've got another elderberry there. And in this final wine cap mushroom bed, we have another elderberry. And we also planted a comfrey right there. These two broccolis are doing pretty well. They were doing the best for a while. The ones that we have planted over there in the really nice soil had a slow start, but now they're all really taking off. While these ones are just kind of stunted because of the lack of soil they have, I'm pretty sure. I don't see why else. It's exciting to see the beans flowering. Right here we have flax. And this is salsify. That's borage. I was just checking what was on the leaves. It just looks like it's poop because we have a hole going under our bed. Right there. And anyway, what I was saying is that it's exciting to see that our beans are flowering and they look so pretty. They look very pretty. We're going to be able to eat beans very soon. Oh, even these beans over here are flowering. That's awesome. This bed is just native soil here. There's no added soil, and so I was just testing to see what does well. Plus, it's pretty shaded back here. I think what I should do is, eventually we're going to turn this into more native perennials. But for now, we've planted a lot of this as annuals because it's close to the house. But we do plan on having a mix of more perennials, native perennials, and annuals to mix up the diversity here. There's another one on my apple tree, eating all the foliage. I usually don't like to kill things, but unfortunately, with gypsy moths, you don't really have much of a choice. This one's doing pretty good. It still has all its foliage. I don't see any caterpillars on that one. I'm disappointed that nothing's really climbing here yet. It's because it's not really good soil down here, so there's not too much prolific growth. I mean, I'm sure that they will get bigger, all the beans. One of them has attached themselves, finally. So it's starting. We still have a lot of the season to go, so I'm sure that we will get lots of fine growth up the trellis. For the tunnel that we built, it's unfortunately too shady for the gourds that I planted. And a lot of them didn't even come up. So the nasturtiums came up right there. And on either side of it, right there, that guy is one of the beans. That's a red noodle bean. But as far as the squash, on this side, I don't see anything. On this side, we do have some squash and beans and nasturtiums and more beans. But they look pale. They have a lack of light. They aren't really getting their needs back here. So I think what we're going to do, if my hardy kiwi seeds germinate and sprout, then I'll plant hardy kiwi here with maybe some clematis, or if you have any suggestions on what could go here in a partially shaded environment that is a prolific perennial vine, that would be great. And going into here, this is our high bush cranberry. It's doing really well. And over there we've got blueberries on our blueberries. So that's exciting. I'm not going to walk too much in here. I'm in flip-flops. And it's the ideal weather for ticks. So we're going to turn around now. We've been getting a few peas that I've been picking often, because that's what you should do. And unfortunately, it's not very many. So next year, we will definitely be planting a lot more peas. And in a better spot. This spot is too sunny for them. And we didn't know until it became a super hot spring. We didn't really get a cold spring. So the last exciting thing I'll share with you is about my garlic. So we harvested the scapes about 2 weeks ago. Snip. And now the ends are starting to crispen up. The bottom leaves are starting to go. And these are all signs that the garlic is getting ready to be harvested. I'm pretty sure once a third of the leaves have yellowed or dried, it will be time to harvest. This is a cabbage. It's being eaten. It's not doing very well. I think it's too hot in this spot for them. But this one's doing okay. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed our garden.